Our first vintage Hollywood hack comes in the form of my hairstyle. My favorite hair icon, Josephine Baker. She actually had her own product line. It was called Baker Fix. And this product is actually a brilliantine gel that you would put in the hair. She also had an oil, and that would give it that really sleek, amazing painted on type of look. So I used Bumble and Bumble Brilliantine, and then I sprayed the heck out of it to keep it in place. So this tip comes from Mae West. Mae West mentions to keep the eyebrows soft, especially as a blonde. Don't match your eyebrows to your eyelashes. That was a big mistake. It would be too harsh. And what she said was, it gives a girl a hard, brittle look, which makes men nervous. I'm just using a Stila blonde marker to just fill in very little hair by hair and keep it really light. So we'll just do that all over and do like Mae West said to do. Okay, let's go into foundation. Surprise, surprise, we're gonna do a Marilyn Monroe tip from this book called Falling for Marilyn. So the photographer of this book was watching her do her makeup and he described it. He said she was using a base stick to darken the flesh tones of her face and chest. The secret of a base, she said, is to take most of it off. That's where most women go wrong. She applied witch hazel, then patted herself with a tissue. See, I'm taking most of it off. So I've got the Kryolan TV paint stick, and this is like a vintage formula. It feels like the old Max Factor pan sticks. And then I have the Dickinson's Witch Hazel. I got this one because there's no alcohol in it. That can be kind of drying. So hopefully this combination will work. I'm just gonna like paint this stuff on. This is very heavy, this product. I usually don't use a lot, but I've seen videos and it feels like this is how they do it. Just like pack it on. And then we're gonna wipe it off. But yeah, we'll make this look as perfect as possible and just blend with the fingertips. And I'll be right back. Okay, I've blended it all in. It is pretty thick. So I'm gonna take the witch hazel and I have a cotton pad. Start at the chin. Okay, I'm gonna do it really softly. It is taking product off. I just don't wanna remove everything. It's not too wet, like very little of the Dickinson's on there, and I'm just kind of blending it. I'm really curious to see how this dries because if this is supposed to sort of tighten the pores, will the skin need less powder at the end? From that almost clay mask of foundation. I will say the skin looks really pretty and it doesn't feel like I need concealer because the stick covered everything. So very, very interesting. I would like to give this technique another try. Okay, so we're going to go on to highlighting. So supposedly Carol Lombard, she had been in a car accident. She had a little scar on her cheek and supposedly it had made her nose go a little bit askew. I'm using the Kryolan TV paint stick. This color is TV white. And I've put it on a brush and I'm just gonna go right down the center of the nose. We will blend it out. Now, normally I contour my nose in a really particular way, but let's see if this works. I think the highlight worked. I cheated a little. I had just a touch of contour. I feel like I need it, but the white highlight really works. And I have read that really any skin tone can use it because the white will mix in with your foundation and just neutralize and highlight. So I'd be curious to see other people try this. Next, we're gonna set everything with powder. Norma Shear said that she'd like to do 2 shades of powder, a peach shade and then something darker. So she liked this technique because it made the skin look just transparent and it was more natural. Now I'm gonna go in with this by Terry. It's called Rosy Light and this is the Hyaluronic Hydra powder, and then I'm going in with the Maybelline powder. This is color number 15. I usually do 5. And she said first she'd do a peach shade, which she felt simulated a blush underneath of the skin, and then the darker shade on top. And this would just take away shine and leave a groomed look. I'm gonna use an old school puff. And I'm gonna start more on the cheek. Well, actually that kind of makes sense to do a peachy color if your skin is more peach, right? Now we're gonna try the darker powder. It's like 3 shades darker than me. I'm just doing the powder kind of heavy because back in those days, they would always use a brush like this and just brush everything off. I gotta tell you something. I always do really light powder all over. Like I'm like a ghost by the end, but this, it might be hard to tell in the camera, but this actually looks so pretty and it just looks like my skin. Yeah, I like it. Okay, now we can go into some blush since I've set the face because I want to use powder blush. So Grace Kelly would use a deeper blush to contour under the cheekbone, and then she would use a lighter blush on the apple of the cheek. So Armani had sent me the new powder blushes and I've been using 51 a lot. It's just a really pretty soft mauve pink color and I really like the formula. So I'm gonna try, I've never tried this one, but this is number 60. So this is a deep deeper color. So let's go ahead and contour now. Again, I have my little kiss curls. Let's see if we can even get under the cheekbone. I mean, Grace Kelly did have that stunning bone structure. Maybe this had something to do with it. It's definitely working. That is really pretty. Okay, so let's go on top, the apple of the cheek with the lighter color. That is lovely. Great tip, Grace Kelly, Princess of Monaco. Let's do some eyeshadow, Marlene Dietrich style. Now, I read in a book by one of the Westmores that Marlene Dietrich would take a candle and a porcelain dish, and she would make soot, and she would mix that with Vaseline, and that is how she created her eyeshadow. Okay, you're gonna just light and you burn. Do you see how quickly that works? Look at that. Look at that. So all of that there, you will mix with Vaseline once it cools down. Okay, we got the Vaseline. I'm just gonna take a little dab of it and blend it onto my hand. Ooh, it's still a little hot, but that's what you're gonna be left with basically. Wow, that's so cool. Ha! Wait for it to cool down. Okay, here it is. We're gonna go ahead and just blend that onto the eyelid. So you just wanna provide a shading to the eye. Okay, that is so stunning. Like, it just gives a soft shadow. I would wear this all the time. I'm curious to see if it creases, but this is an amazing tip. Basically, you're making soot. I mean, this is something that goes back to ancient India, but using it as an eyeshadow, they would use it as eyeliner, but using it as an eyeshadow is something I've only heard of Marlene Dietrich doing. Wow, like that eyeshadow is amazing. I'm gonna move on to mascara a la Joan Crawford. Now, there wasn't really any beauty tips makeup-wise for Joan per se. I mean, I know she liked to cover her freckles when she was younger and use a lot of base, but there's something about Joan. In the 20s and 30s, she would wear so much mascara. I'm gonna pack on like 3 coats, top and bottom, and then I'll come back, but I am gonna really layer it on. Damn. I can't stop laughing. Look at the eyelashes. Look at that. I love this. I like when they're super clumpy and thick and over the top, and I don't feel I need false lashes, just, 45 coats of mascara. But we are actually going to separate them and make them look a little less clumpy using Audrey Hepburn's technique of a needle. A needle to separate the lashes. I think people from the 80s already know about this trick, but I've actually never done it. I normally use a lash comb. Oh. I'm scared. The only needle I could find that I use to hold my wigs in my styrofoam heads, but okay. Oh, you know what? It's not as scary as it seemed. It's working. I mean, I don't think anything's gonna unclump these, but I'm okay with that. I like it. I think it looks good. Clumpy, thick, but somewhat separated, right? Let's go on to lip liner. For lip liner, we're going to follow Betty Davis for the top lip and Vivian Lee for the bottom lip. Now, Betty Davis would overdraw her Cupid's bow and make the lips much straighter. Vivian Lee was very self-conscious about how small her lips were, so she would overdraw the bottom lip. To get this Betty Davis, I think we literally have to act as if there is no Cupid's bow at all and go very round. And then for Vivian, we'll go under. Yeah, so I'll just line everything and then we'll come back to do lipstick. Not having a dip, I actually quite like it. I feel like the kids do this nowadays anyway. So for our lipstick, we're going with Dorothy Dandridge. She was said to use a classic red mixed with an orange to complement her skin tone by making a coral shade, and that became her signature. So I'm going in with the Give original recipe, and I have a Shiseido orange lipstick that is already loved and used, and this is color Torch Song. Maybe we'll put the red on first, blot it, and then put the orange lipstick on. Okay, red lip, and I'm just gonna blot. That is a beautiful color, but let's make coral. So we're gonna go in with Torch Song. That is already pretty. I'm gonna say it right now, I love this makeup already. We're not done yet, we're close, but that lip color is stunning. So we now have to do a trick that Anna May Wong often followed. There's pictures of her getting her manicure. Her nails are actually shaped something like this, which these are press-ons, but her nails would have to match her lipstick. So we're gonna paint our nails to match exactly this color, but I don't have a color that's this sort of red orange. I have these two from Jin Soon. This is my all-time favorite red, Vanity. And then this is a color called Pop Orange, so I'm actually gonna mix them. That is stunning. I definitely wanna start matching my lips and my fingertips all the time. If you ever notice, I often wear a star on my face, and I totally got that from our next glamour icon, Clara Bow. She has a little star on her cheek. I mean, I have a mole there, but I always like to put a star on top of it. So I'm gonna use Miley stickers, and it's super simple. Here's our little star. That's when I feel complete, when I have my beauty mark on. I have a lot of powder on my face, so normally you would use a setting spray, but Elizabeth Taylor had another trick. After her makeup was completely done, she would sit in the bathtub for about 15 minutes and allow the steam to set her makeup, which made it look more natural. So I'm at my office and not at home, so there is no bathtub here, but I got a bowl and I got some heated water, and I'm just gonna pour it in the bowl and put my face over it for like 15 minutes. And while I'm doing that, Dolores Del Rio said her top beauty secret was just to sit completely still, close off your mind, meditate for 20 minutes. Here we go. I think that worked. I think the skin looks more skin-like and less powdery. And after all that hard work of doing your makeup, why not sit in a bath and relax for 15 minutes? We have one final tip from Claudette Colbert. She said that her face was asymmetrical, so she would never ever have a photograph taken straight on. Instead, she would always be turned from the side. I am feeling this look. And what's amazing is that these are all different people with all their own beauty secrets, and yet you put them together and it really works. And I definitely will be trying a few more in my modern everyday makeup. I hope you enjoyed that. That was really fun for me. I'm actually putting a ton of research together to do a lot more vintage tips from different decades and maybe some makeup artists. So I have a lot of fun stuff coming your way, and we can try it out with modern products, of course. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.